Abraham Lincoln, From Poverty to President, Motivational Story, USA. Hey, Elias Bod. Story time. Do you believe greatness is only for the privileged? Then let me tell you the story of a boy born in a log cabin. A boy who walked miles to borrow books, who grew up in poverty, lost loved ones, faced failure after failure, and yet became one of the greatest presidents the world has ever known. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln, a man who proved that your beginnings don't define your destiny. Part 1, Humble Beginnings, 030 AD. 2 o'clock, 1809, in a one-room log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky. He was the second child of Thomas and Nancy Lincoln, a poor farming family. Life was hard. There was no electricity, no luxury, and barely enough food. His mother died when he was just 9 years old. His father remarried, and while his stepmother was kind, the family still struggled to survive. Lincoln received very little formal education, just about 1 year total, but he had something powerful, a hunger to learn. He would walk for miles just to borrow a book. He read by firelight after finishing long days of physical labor. He was not born with privilege, but he was born with purpose. It was a rise from the dead, members from Abraham's college class, and anytime Scottish Arizona school failed. As a teenager, Abraham worked as a farmhand, rail splitter, and store clerk. He tried many jobs and failed at several. At 23, he opened a general store. It went bankrupt. He didn't give up. He started studying law. Then he ran again in 1834 and won. Lincoln began building a reputation as a man of honesty, integrity, and intelligence, but success didn't come easy. He faced personal heartbreak too, the death of the woman he loved, and later a failed engagement. He battled with depression for most of his life, and still he kept going. Lincoln became a self-taught lawyer, known for his logic and storytelling. He became a self-taught lawyer, known for his logic and storytelling. He earned the nickname Honest Abe for his integrity. In 1846, he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, but after one term, he stepped back from politics. He returned to law, but couldn't stay away from public service. The country was boiling with tension, especially over slavery. Lincoln believed in freedom and equality. He spoke boldly, debated fearlessly, and gained national attention during the Lincoln-Douglas debates of 1858 to 1858. He lost that Senate race, but won the hearts of many Americans. He finally had a chance to run for president of the divided nation. He won 61. A lot of people said 1 million, but in 1860, Abraham Lincoln ran for president of the United States. He had no college degree. He came from poverty, but not in peace. Just weeks after he was elected, Southern states began to secede. The Civil War broke out, the bloodiest war in American history. Lincoln led with courage. He knew that freedom was not just a dream, it was a right. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation declaring freedom for slaves in Confederate states. That same year, he gave the legendary Gettysburg Address, just 2 minutes long, yet one of the most powerful speeches in history. He reminded America that all men are created equal and called on the living to continue the fight for freedom. Part 5, Legacy and Impact, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Lincoln was reelected in 1864. He pushed forward to unite the nation and rebuild a broken country, but his journey ended too soon. On April 14, 1865, just days after the war ended, Lincoln was assassinated while watching a play. The country mourned deeply. Even his enemies wept. Why? Because Abraham Lincoln was more than a president. He was a symbol of hope. A man who rose from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs, not for power, but for purpose. He proved that greatness comes not from where you start, but from what you stand for. Abraham Lincoln's life teaches us you can be poor and still powerful. You can fall and still rise. You can fail and still lead. In today's world of instant gratification, Lincoln's story reminds us of persistence, purpose, and patience. He didn't have wealth. He didn't have connections, but he had vision, he had grit, and he had courage to do what was right, even when it was hard. So the next time you feel like giving up, think of that boy in a log cabin who became president. Because if he could do it, what's stopping